Yeah. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. It's a 12-gauge double-barreled Remington. S-Mart's top of the line.
Do you like icy explosions? Do you really like icy explosions? Well, I got just the build for you. What's up, Exile? Simply AP here, going over my Icy Boomstick Merc Witch Hunter build guide with you. This is a campaign only guide. I just got the mapping and I need to change some gear and stuff. The max roll guide will be in the description. Please stick around, and if you stick around long enough, please like and subscribe. So let's get into it. Moving into the skills and support gems, we got Glacial Bolt, which creates a projectile that does cold damage, but then it explodes and creates an ice wall, and which is great because when it explodes using fragmentation rounds versus frozen, you get a 989% damage increase, which is crazy. Does crazy clear, clears all white, blue, unique enemies fairly quickly. The only issue is with boss enemies, I wasn't getting the damage, and it was like really hurting because I had really crap gear. Like, I'm still rocking level 33 gloves well into maps, but another content creator, Big Duck, came out with a similar build that uses Plasma Blast with Stormfire Flame Wall to keep up shocks, and then uses Shock Burst rounds, which have a pulse that does crazy damage. Really glad I found that. Our builds differ a little bit because he goes more into using Sorcery Ward and buffing armor and evasion, where I'm more offense is the best defense. But his build, which I'll link in the description, is good also. So using conductivity for a little bit more damage with the lower their lightning resistance. For some defense, we got Wind Dancer. This is mostly if you get swarmed, just knocks everybody back, so you can pop a glacial and then fragmentation round. So, and then Herald of the Ice. This is just more damage. You had the spirit. Why not use it? Armor piercing rounds, but that was something I was experimenting with just to see if breaking armor was better. I'm not going to suggest using this unless you really need to. And then Sorcery Ward, which I'll go over in the passives. So support gems, fragmentation rounds. I'm just using Fork, and Pierce. You want Pierce so you can pierce through walls if you have multiple walls stacked up on each other. So please use that. It makes the clear a lot better, and it can pierce through enemies too in case the wall misses an enemy and one of them gets through. So it just helps out a little bit. Fork is a level 3 gem skill, so if you can't use this, I would suggest using whatever the physical, brutality. Support skills do 35% more physical damage. This will not affect the explosion in my testing, so just use that. Glacial Bolt, we got more freeze buildup because you want the enemies been frozen. Attacks gain 30% of damage is cold. Ice Bite, attacks gain 30% damage cold. I'm using this. I'm actually in the middle of testing Ice Bite out, but I liked Frost Nexus better. Creating chill ground, just causing more freeze build up on enemies and slowing them down is really good. Lasts 6 seconds afterwards, so even like you kill out a swarm or more are coming, you pop another wall, they're gonna just freeze faster. I think I liked Frost Nexus better, but right now I'm experimenting with Ice Bite in maps. Magnified effect just to make the explosions bigger. Again, I'm not going to talk about armor piercing rounds. That's something if you wanted to use, you could use. Plasma Blast, Shocked skills do not expire on ignited enemies with Stormfire. This is a good one. This is why you have Flame Wall. You just, as soon as you charge it up as you enter the room, pop them as soon as you see the health bar, and throw it on your Flame Wall and just start firing away. And then more chance to shock, just in case they got high shock resistance. I have ran into it in a weird unique that had some crazy shock resistances, and I wasn't doing any damage to him. I couldn't figure it out, and then I realized like he was like immune to shock. So that was a little annoying. It happens with the rolls. Shock burst rounds, you know, you pop your plasma mask with the shock burst rounds, and you go to work. It's great. Acceleration on that. Oh, sorry. Stormfire shock. Yep. Acceleration skills have 40% more projectile speed, just faster, and for air skills do 40% more area damage for 50 less area effect. You're not using this to clear areas. You're using this to kill a boss, so the damage is better. Conductivity. I just have spell echoes. I like spell echoes because it has less cast speed. I think there's a couple other curses I was experimenting with, but I figured this one was the best because I'm just using it to apply the buff. I want the hit conductivity, and I want shock burst rounds to do all the damage. Flame Wall, 40% more skill duration, 25% more cast speed, just to make them faster. Wind Dancer, I do have Pin and Maim. I might actually try to experiment with different stuff into maps, but so far this has worked pretty good. It doesn't seem to pin multiple enemies, but it will maim every enemy that gets knocked back. So, a little interesting. And then Herald of Ice, mana regeneration, right, while the support skill is active. It is mana hungry when you reload. Every time you reload, it takes a chunk of mana. So if you don't have a lot of mana, like right now I have 437, but I still go through this, especially if I'm clearing a lot. And then once you get the extra int, if you want to build into it, you can add 25% as extra cold damage. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It's very simple. Really quick, I just want to talk about my gear for campaign. It is definitely not optimized at all. This is just, I was prioritizing rarity just so I could get more exalts and stuff like that, so I could slam gear and try to do it. I did end up getting stuck with a level 24 bow halfway through, or by the end of the campaign, and I was like, screw this, I'm just gonna trade because I can't get anything to roll. So the big thing that I got was this, I think it was 1 exalt, 20 quality, honestly is steel, but the 90% increase in elemental damage and the 38% increase of physical damage is a must on gear. I cannot suggest that much. The damage increase with elemental damage and physical damage is great. That would be my #1 priority. Accuracy is nice. Fire damage is there. It's okay. And then life per kill, love that. And then mana regen per kill was awesome. Right now, I did find I found this bow. This is one that I crafted. It came with the, it came with 57 increase, and then I ended up getting lucky with an Exalt Slam and got another physical damage. I wanted the element, but the physical, this does do more damage than this one. Extra cold damage is nice. Reduced attribute requirement. Didn't really need it, but it's nice. Strength, critical damage bonus. Don't really care about these last three, but this is doing great. And then I, slammed 2 iron runes into it and upgraded the quality. I'm in 68. It's great. I am still using level 33 gloves just because the boost to armor and evasion for sorcery reward. I got this at the end of the campaign. Pretty good. Again, armor and evasion. I think I slammed this because I already had the armor and evasion, but I got max life, cold resist, and life regen. Love the life regen, love the cold resist. Helmet, rarity found. Again, this is still a rarity helmet. This amulet doesn't really, again, rarity. I was prioritizing rarity. I think now is the time where I'm probably going to step away from rarity and work on resistances. I did a couple maps. They're not that great. Boots, movement speed, rarity, cold resist. This was just some resistances, flash scar, whatever. I prefer increase the amount recovered just because it does feel like it goes faster, or life fast with a reduction rate, or faster recovery time. So you get some that you get full life last in like under 3 seconds is very nice. All right, moving on to the passive tree. You are a Witch Hunter Merc. I took Witch Hunter Merc over Gremlin because I wanted the Culling Strike and the Decimating Strike. Now, the Culling Strike is nice because if you hit your Glacial Shot and it does enough damage to them and they're frozen, they'll explode and cause a chain reaction, so you won't actually have to switch to fragmentation rounds to cause the explosion, and they'll start chaining. It's really nice. If I also took Sorcery Ward. Now, if I didn't have, how do I want to wear this? If I didn't have gear that was prioritizing rarity so I could get better gems so I could try to slam gear, I would not have taken Sorcery Ward until maps, until I got my fifth and sixth ascendancy point. So I would have taken Decimating Strike to do more damage, so the coal could trigger Culling Strike more, and then 35% increased damage with hits against enemies that are low life. Like, all of this could just be such a great cascading effect. But because my gear was not prioritized with resistances and survivability, it was prioritized with just rarity, I did go Sorcery Ward just to get a little bit more survivability. Nothing against it. If you want to do it this way, you can, but I would suggest taking Decimating Strike. It would just be better, in my opinion, for what I was going for. Same thing with Battle Harden. I wouldn't have taken Battle Harden this early, but the plus strength and dexterity and the less critical damage bonus. But basically, you're going to go down. You're going to prioritize projectile damage. I didn't take these till later. I kind of wish I'm probably going to take that next, but did this later. But I went down, two-handed crossbows right here, or two-handed weapons, because you're using a crossbow. It does have, you use both your hands. So going down. Inflict ailments with projectiles just to get more freeze. You got attack damage equal to your strength, or accuracy equal to your strength. And come down. This was just stat points because I needed the stats for int so I could test some stuff with Herald of Ice. Go down here for increased damage with crossbows for each type of ammunition, and then chance for crossbow attacks to not consume a bolt is great. I will talk a little bit about the Dryad crossbow now. I like the Dryad crossbow most because you get an additional bolt, and then with this chance, you can actually chain it. I think the most I've gotten is like 6 shots without reloading, just a bit of luck, but it helps just throwing down the glacial shots with the walls and then blowing everybody up. And then Giant Slayer and Cull the Hordes. This is, 25 increase to Culling Strike threshold is great. And then, the damage to rare and unique enemies are not great in the early game, so getting this as early as you can to kind of help you with that is great. And then elemental damage and elemental resistances and freeze buildup over here. We go down. Your nodes, take whatever you need. And I went over here to get more elemental damage. Now, once I get this, I will probably move kind of over here. Maybe do some additional forking. I think there's some more elemental damage or something. Yeah. Over here, I'm gonna go this way. I just don't know which way I'm gonna go. There is, if I do need more survivability, there's the leather bound gauntlets, which adds +1 evasion rating per 1 armor on equipped gloves. So you just run full armor gloves and you get that amount of armor rating for invasion, which will boost Sorcery Ward. I'm not at that point yet where I really need the survivability. Once I do, which is probably going to be later maps, I'll definitely go for it. So there's a quick breakdown of my build. I am going to do a more in-depth version of the build once I get a little bit further into maps. I also am working on another Merc type character that prioritizes totems, so I'm working on that currently also. But let me know what you think in the comments below and get after it.
So, at the eve of the end, the demon of Exile has finally come for me. This ends now. Nothing can stand against us. You are blind to the great... A minor setback. Survival requires brutal choices. Inferno! I can't give up. I must save my people.
You know why we're here. It happened. It cannot be stopped.
No, I will succeed. How foolish.
I'm just here for the lady. There's no need for all this.
I cannot allow you to interfere. Face the might of the Val. What? How? Get up! Get up! Nothing will stand in my way! You leave me no choice. This is not over yet. One death is nothing for the greater good. Now, you are within my grasp. Let's see you survive this. Let me show you what true intellect looks like. Not now.
Not bad. Not bad for shit gear.
How could
Not
this
bad
happen?
for shit gear.
All I've done, all that I sacrificed.
Your people cannot be saved. History is already written. You can stay here and die, or come with us and help save the future.
The legacy of the